Hello, hello. Welcome, everyone. We're going to have another deep session tonight, another opportunity to dive into this present moment. You can just take some nice deep breaths here. We can just continue to settle in more and more, remembering as we go within that this moment is a portal, a gateway to healing and release. Guiding our mind into what's right here. Just allowing the mind to rest. Sometimes the mind is literally tired from all its busyness. Racing around. When we give it time just to breathe, just to be still, it may even feel unfamiliar at first. But this stillness within is calling to you. It's actually always calling. Gently and steadily. Reaching out to you. Asking to be remembered. Gently waiting for the space to be experienced. And resting your mind is such a loving gift to yourself. Such a loving gift to all the world. a loving gift to the Christ. This is the most loving gift we can give, even more valuable than frankincense and myrrh, even more valuable than gold. Mind at rest, a mind at peace. Letting that Christ child in us be born right now, today. And there were those in that story looking for the Christ child. The wise ones, they followed the light. The light guided them right where they needed to go. But in truth, this is not a light outside of us. It is a light within. We can let this journey of following the light to the Christ be our holy, sacred journey. In the Christmas story, these wise ones knew that they had to follow the light. They might not even have known where they were going, what exactly they would find. But they were willing. They were willing to trust and follow. And we can be like them. We just have to follow the light. And then if we get uncertain, we just follow the light some more. Maybe we seem to lose our way, and we follow the light again, and again, and again, and again. Every time we come to uncertainty, every time we come to a crossroads, every time we just don't know, it's again to follow the light. Maybe we don't know. Maybe we feel uncertain. There's that beautiful workbook lesson where Jesus tells us he knows it feels like we're in a cloud of uncertainty. But he says, reach out and take my hand. and I will lead you through the cloud. He says, I assure you, this is no idle fantasy. So if you feel like you're in some uncertainty, if you feel like you don't know necessarily which way to go, take his hand, take Jesus's hand. And if you think maybe you've tried to take his hand, but you're not really sure, then grab onto his hand even more. You know, it's okay. It's okay to claim that this is what you want. It's okay to really say, I want to walk with you, Spirit. I want to walk with you, Jesus. I don't want to keep trying to do it by myself. I know how that is. I've done that a lot. I know what it gets me. More fog, more clouds, more uncertainty. So let me look at what's in my hand. If it's not light, if it's not love, if it's not peace, I want to let it go. I don't want to hold on to something else. I don't want to hold on to fear, anger, judgment, righteousness. That's not your hand, Jesus. And you can hear Spirit calling to say, take my hand. Maybe you need to let go of that thing you're holding on to first. You need to let go of that dark rock that's just heavy and tiring. It just drags you down. Keeps you stuck. But you know what you need in order to do that? You need to want to let it go. You need to want to release it. That's the trick. Because again, do you want to let it go? Once you're really clear that holding on is the cause of your suffering, you're going to want to let it go. But if you're kind of not sure, maybe it's causing me some misery, but it's a misery that I kind of like, or I'm used to, or I'm scared of what it would mean to really take Holy Spirit's hand. Well, it's good to look at that. I say I want to follow you, Jesus, but I'm not really fully there. It's not a sin. You're not going to hell. If you admit that, it's just getting really honest. It just means you need to kind of look more at what you're holding on to. Is the benefit of holding on to it worth the suffering? And benefit, I say, quotes, it's not never really a helpful thing. And it's usually not so easy. It's kind of unsettling to look right at it, to look clearly with open eyes at this discomfortable, painful, sad thing that's been held on to. Most of the time we spend not looking at it. Oh, I'm just going to hold it. I'm just going to hold it here, hold it behind my back. I can't see it there. But it's still heavy, it's still painful, but some part of you thinks you need it, you want it, it's better than some alternative. Again, let's open it up. Let's really look at it. Let's look at it in the light of day. Let's look at it in honesty and clarity. The more open and honest we are with whatever it is that we've been holding on to, the more we can make a real choice around it. It's not a real choice just to grip and grip and grip without ever seeing what it is, without ever really being present with it. That's just a bad habit. It's just a painful pattern. Just because you're used to a painful pattern doesn't mean it's something you need to keep doing. But again, with open eyes, with gentle presence, what is this thing? What is this? What is the reason I cling so tightly? What is the reason I resist letting go? If you're really honest, you're going to find something. Maybe it's a fear of what might come if you really let go and take Holy Spirit's hand. Usually there's a belief that somehow holding on is better, good for you, good for someone else. It's going to make them happy. But again, when we really bring these things forward, we start to look at them a little more openly. I remember Jenny sharing in her story of following her guidance and, leaving her son to be with his father. She shared she had this belief that she was the best one to care for him. No one else could care for her son as well as she could. But she had to look at that belief. She had to open that belief up. Maybe she wasn't right about that. And she had to ultimately let that go. The Holy Spirit was the best one to care for everyone. And in some way of this gripping and holding on to something, there's some belief that Holy Spirit is not the best one to care for someone, to take care of some situation, to trust. There's some belief my way is better. I somehow know better. I have a better plan than the Holy Spirit's plan. Well, you could probably hear the arrogance in that idea. And not only is it a bit arrogant, but it's not accurate. This takes a dose of humility. Sometimes we say you have to eat some humble pie. We have to be willing to be wrong about what we believed. We have to set down our ideas that we are right about what we think we're so right about. Jesus so beautifully said in the Course, would you prefer to be right or to be happy? Because this belief that we're right about what is in the best for someone else, what is in the best for ourselves, causes a lot of suffering. And it's very prevalent in, in almost everyone in this world. Think that we're so right. Think that you know what is best. So let's just take a breath here. And with this breath, let's just open up to the possibility. And maybe you don't know what's for the best. Maybe that's okay. And then consider that there is someone who knows what is best and who's gently and presently encouraging you in that direction. I mean, if we really believe this, if you really accept that idea that there is someone, there is a presence here that knows what's in your highest good and the highest good for all. Wouldn't you do everything you could to tune into that, to listen to that, to pray, to know that in yourself? Help me, Holy Spirit, to let down my ideas of what is right, of what is best. Help me to lay them all down so that I can know your will, so that I can live, your will. I'm tired of all of my conclusions about what's right and what's wrong. They've only dragged me down. Take them from me. I'm giving them freely to you, Holy Spirit, so that you can show me, so that you can reveal the will of God to me. My assumptions are painful. My ideas are attacking me. Help me to unburden myself. Help me to release myself from this jail I've built around myself. Help me to walk out of this jail cell. Show me that I'm free. I think I'm in prison, but I'm not. I want to experience this freedom. Release me from these prison bars that I have made, that I've made for myself. Let's take this prayer, let's take this plea for sanity within our own mind. And let's ride the desire for awakening through all the clouds of insanity. This desire to know God, to know truth, to know peace. Let it take us home. We can just keep renewing this vow, deepening this desire. To take us through all the fear, all the shame, all the sadness, all the littleness. It is the call of love to you, call of the love in you to you. Don't plug your ears. Don't make yourself deaf to this call. It is for you. It is for your joy, for your sense of being. This call will take you all the way back to yourself. It will knock down all the doubt, all the guilt. It will melt away all the fear. It will transcend all the pain. So truly listen. Listen inside. Hear this. Let this call serve you, benefit you, protect you from doubt and anger and fear, guide you through all the storms, all the trivial routes that the ego will try to put in the way. As this loving beacon is from you, to you, for you. Everything else just falls to the wayside. Everything else doesn't add up to a hill of beans. This path beckons to you, beckons always. It will always beckon. It will always call to you. No matter how lost in the clouds you feel at times, this clarion call is here. It's with you. You know, there's a real satisfaction that comes from knowing you're on track. Anyone who's, as a child, played with, race cars on a track or trains on a track, you know the satisfaction that comes from putting the train car on the track, going down the track. Because some part of you knows you want to be on track. You want to go down the track. It's much harder off the track. And what is the track? It's living a life based in love. It's living a life with this beacon of light. It's living life knowing that you want to go home, and everything is for that. Everything you experience in your whole life is for going home. Everything. At any point, you could say to yourself, what is this for? And you could answer, this is for going home to my oneness with God. That's what this is for. And if you're not seeing that, you can pray. I want to see that this is for going home. I want to experience that. I want to know in the depth of my being that this is for going home. Show me, Holy Spirit. Show me this. And this experience gets stronger the more we forgive, because we're less and less conflicted. When we have unforgiveness within us, some part of our mind wants to be in darkness. Again, it's not a sin, it's just a mistake. But if some part of us is wanting that, wanting to be in darkness rather than in light, we're conflicted. Because the truth in us is the light. So every time we raise some of that desire for darkness up, we raise it into the light, and it melts away. We're less conflicted. Our whole state of being becomes more peaceful because we don't have parts that are fighting with each other. So we want to come into this state of peacefulness. And we do that by raising these dark thoughts, these dark beliefs up. A shadow doesn't survive in the light, and a shadowy belief will melt away when it's brought to awareness. And that gets us back on track. We feel like we're on track. And it's a joyful thing. I remember as a kid playing with these cars on the tracks and just running them around over and over. There's a real joy in being on track. But again, if we don't feel like we're on track, if we feel like we're off track in some way, let's see what that is. Let's ask for help. Let's ask for healing. And if there is anything that someone has here tonight that you'd like to bring forward, you're very welcome to raise your hand. Share a little bit from the text here. Jesus here is talking about how when we've chosen these dark thoughts, we can't also stay connected to the spirit. We can't hold on to the dark thoughts and then still know our truth. It's, it's completely one or the other. He says, spirit could not be reconciled with this loss of power because it is incapable of darkness. This makes spirit almost inaccessible to the mind. So we push spirit so far from our awareness that we almost don't even realize we can access spirit. This makes spirit almost inaccessible to the mind and entirely inaccessible to the body. And he says, once we've done this, spirit is perceived as a threat. So once we choose darkness, we actually perceive spirit as a threat. It's a threat to our holding on to these painful thoughts. Spirit is perceived as a threat because light abolishes darkness merely by showing you it is not there. Light abolishes darkness merely by showing you it is not there. Truth will always overcome error in this way. He's describing the healing process here. We bring the darkness into the light, and the light abolishes the darkness. This cannot be an active process of correction, because as I have already emphasized, knowledge does not do anything. So even this abolishing isn't like an active thing. God simply is, peace simply is. It can be perceived as an attacker, but it cannot attack. So if we're so wedded to our thought system that we're terrified of losing it, we're going to perceive love, peace, truth as attacking us. So he says here that even though we can perceive love as an attacker, it cannot attack. What you perceive as its attack is your own vague recognition that knowledge can always be remembered, never having been destroyed. So this realization that we can always awaken to our truth feels threatening, because a part of us knows in order to awaken to that, we have to release these false concepts we've been clinging to. And as long as we're still holding on, a part of us is going to interpret that as a threat. The idea of healing as a threat. But healing is not really a threat. I mean, it is a threat to the ego, a threat to limitation, a threat to suffering, threat to misery. Could be the title of a book, The Holy Spirit, a Threat to Misery. It's good news. That misery will be undone. That suffering will melt away. That unhappiness will be a thing of the distant past. I mean, that's not really a threat, that's a relief. But we only really see that it's relief once we've handed over the thing we've been holding on to. So again, this is where we get more and more honest. The part of us that thinks we know how things need to be. What if we just gave it all up? What if we really practice, I do not perceive my own best interests? Letting ourselves trust the Holy Spirit is actually deeply relieving and peaceful. But we have to be willing to give over our I knows. I know that this is this way. I know that this needs to be like this. You could even make a list, like right at the top of the paper, I know, dot, dot, dot. And then start writing the things you know or think you know. You probably come up with a really good list of things you know. And then, if you're open, take your pen, one by one, read one of the things you know and cross it out. Take a pen and go right through that thing. Maybe you don't know that. Maybe one by one, you go through this whole list, crossing out the things you know. But do it inwardly too. Let yourself let these things go. And maybe you wrote down 15 or 20 or 50 things on your list. See how you feel after you've gone through and let go of each of those things. I'm gonna guess you feel a lot better. But what else is here? Someone want to put anything on the altar? Comes to mind is this writing I did years ago, came through about allowing ourselves to offer over all the ideas about love, like bring them all up into awareness and giving them all over to Holy Spirit with the message that everything that is true when you offer it to Holy Spirit just stays because it's true. That everything that's not true will just melt away. So the message really was it's safe. It's really safe to do this inward exploration because the only thing you can actually lose is what's not true. You can't lose what's true. So we can just pray here. Because anything that's here is open for healing. We can pray. Whatever this thing that is on your mind, this experience that's here, maybe it's just a sense of pressure and it's not totally clear. Let's just offer it up. Ask for a shift. Ask for a release. It's a beautiful thing to ask for healing. It's a beautiful thing to want to wake up. Just to wake up just means to let go of fear and pain.
To laugh, come into our joy. My happiness and my function are one. That's a deep lesson. To realize that happiness is our function. I don't think we fully understood it yet. Maybe we're getting closer. Hi everyone, good to see you. Thought I'd come in and connect here towards the end maybe. It feels very peaceful here. That's the theme you've been going into here.
Really just desiring, awakening.
Good one. Remember, Jesus says, you don't have to seek for love. You have to only seek for all the obstacles to love's awareness in the mind. And let them go. Makes it clear. It's so sweet to have Emily here. So joyful. Many giggles and many tears of gratitude. Beautiful. I love that she has a heart on her throat chakra. It's like express only love. Express only love. Good reminder. Teach only love. Teach only love to learn that you are love.
Solveig?
Yeah, I think I just like to reinforce my desire for rest.
Mm.
And yeah, seeing how it just seemingly having that desire up front is just kind of smokes out a lot of stress and pressure and thoughts. And yeah, I experienced today where I suddenly could feel this pressure, and I felt everything just coming up and just expressing it in the middle of it with Peter, and that was really beautiful. I could just experience how everything shifted. Like, yeah, it felt like this pressure cooker, and suddenly there was some steam going out, and suddenly I was able to just yeah, be in it, yeah, allow it in the middle of cooking.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
That's because it's about a restful mind, not a restful body. So it can happen in the middle of cooking.
Yeah.
Love anything busy, seemingly busy.
Yeah, and I suddenly, what came up was a lot of memories from my time as a single mom, where I felt exactly this pressure so much, and having all these small explosions of anger, and blaming, and just feeling everything hopeless, and chaos and all that. It was just all up, just experiencing how it could shift so quickly by just actually saying how I felt. It was very beautiful. It's very beautiful.
A great example of that. How expressing and talking, joining, actually helps to clear the mind so quickly.
Yeah.
You know, it is, again, not like only the hidden can terrify, not for what it is, but for its hiddenness. Just speaking it, just putting it on the table, you know, joining with somebody. And such a beautiful, quick way to awakening, really, to awakening.
Yeah, and really amazing to feel the shift in me. That was quite a contrast from the pressure cooker.
Hooray.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that miracle shift.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and I could see in the end of the meditation here, suddenly I could see this thought came up in my mind, and it felt a little like the same. Someone who had actually offered us a house sit, but it's later in the year, end of August or something, and it's a little further away from here. And I suddenly remembered, oh, I said I would get back to her, and then the whole thing came back again, and I could see all this like guilt, and I owe her something, and suddenly just like I was aware that yeah, something about the only purpose is actually joining. It's not for us to get a house set. It's actually the joining, and then that shifted totally in me. Then I don't feel fearful of contacting her again. It's just like, you know, even telling her, maybe we don't know right now. So it's just, yeah, just I could see the guilt in it, a lot of guilt there. So guilt and pressure, that goes together. I can see that.
Yeah, you're not aware of it, but the Holy Spirit gives you the thumb up a lot when you talk. It's about the joining. Thumb comes up. Really lovely, actually.
Great. Thanks.
Thank you for sharing.
Hey. Anyone else have anything to bring forward?
There was something that I wanted to say. So this morning felt a bit like a miracle too. So I was reading the lesson and then suddenly came into my mind when you asked us or me to pay when we were at the cafe. And I was so grateful that you did that.
Oh.
And it, but then it just felt like, yeah, I just knew at that moment, you know, just giving and receiving was one. There was something like that. And the sense of lack that I have around money just was just really clear. It just fell away. And then I actually felt really excited that I'd had that opportunity. We had had that opportunity. So it was very strong for me to shift around lack.
Mhm.
Yeah. And like that was.
That's very beautiful.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, a bit later, I'm a bit confused around lack and loss. That seems a bit, I don't know, I just need to say that as well.
Yeah. I used to become happy when I'm also very similar to your sharing, like when I lost something or seemed to, you know, have very little, and then the little I had was gone or disappeared or given away, or but I used to actually, you know, after some time on this path, I used to feel very grateful, like you did with this, because it was this sign that the Holy Spirit was carrying me. I didn't need to rely on, you know, money or stuff or people. If people left me or, you know, things happened, it was always, you know, there was always some gratitude when those things happened, because I had faith and I could, it's like, yeah, the Holy Spirit is showing me that it's not in the form. There is something even deeper that I can trust.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that. I don't think I have anything else to say.
Yeah. Well, we celebrate with you, Peter.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was exciting. I feel so grateful. I should have written to you. I really wanted to write to you and just say, you know, how grateful I felt. I was just unbelievably just yeah.
A few euros can do.
Few euros.
Few euros. Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
very sweet.
you gave me the €2. But it wasn't that. It wasn't that, no. But thank you for that, but it wasn't that. Yeah, I forgot that, yeah. No, it was
No, it's
Yeah.
beautiful. And it's great to hear you practice to relax when you feel the tension, the breathing. And yeah. But yeah, thanks for sharing the miracle. Gratitude. You know, gratitude is the way God is remembered. You know, it's very nice to feel grateful. Yeah. We need it. We need to feel grateful to God. He doesn't need our gratitude, but we do. Thank God. Thank God for all of you. Yeah.
And that's what the thought was. Thank God, Jenny, you did that. But thank God was what I thought this morning, yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you, Peter. Well, good night, everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sweet blessings.
yeah. Lots of love.
See you later.